Are we live? We're live. All right,
live.
So this is the first ever official Aquashella pre-show. How do you guys feel?
I feel really nervous.
Do you really?
I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders right now.
This is kind of like Good Morning Dallas, right?
I'd say the stakes right now are a little higher than that.
Are they?
It could be, yeah. We did the Good Morning Dallas. You were there.
I was there.
That was an awesome time.
Shawn, why don't you actually, before we get into it, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and say like how you fit into Aquashella?
Okay, you go ahead.
I'll go first. My name's George. I obviously run the YouTube channel Coralfish12G, and then I'm one of the co-founders of this event. And so
You have a channel?
Shawn's the other. Yeah, it's called Coralfish12G.
And why was that so obvious that you
I know, like,
Coralfish12G?
I don't know.
Should we know you?
I hope you'd know me by now.
I feel like they would know me more.
Shawn
from my
Snails is
Instagram
the more
channel.
popular creator.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you may have seen me in films such as How to Raise Your Own Snail and Snails Anonymous and Holy Snail.
Wow.
Yeah, those have been
Those were all really good movies.
Very
You guys
popular
should
short
look 'em
films.
up.
Holy Snail was my favorite.
Yeah, it was good. It was, at the beginning it was kind of slow, but it really picked up towards the middle and the end.
Only on Aquashella pre-show. And I am Rob with Flip Aquatics. I help out with the fish tube booth, help these guys out. Obviously, we're all good friends, and the show's kind of brought us together more so than not. And it's been a fun little journey. So when did we start this? Or when did you guys start this? We'll say that.
Aquashella, we started in 2018. Was our
Yeah.
first one, and it was here in Chicago.
Yeah, we
So-
actually sent in the paperwork to incorporate the business name in May of 2018.
May of 2018.
That's when the idea started.
Yeah,
And the first show ever was here in Chicago.
it
Yes.
was.
At the White Eagle Convention Center.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes away from here. It was a much smaller venue. It had a good family atmosphere. It was nice and cozy, but we definitely outgrew that space, and it's very exciting to see it come to this, the Schaumburg Convention Center.
It's huge.
It's so much bigger. It's really, really nice, and it's super exciting to see how it's all going to go down.
I kind of missed the White Eagle this year.
I
Like,
feel
I
like
felt
a lot
like
of people miss the White Eagle.
it was really
Yeah.
cozy. There was carpet everywhere.
And you
that's
never
kinda
knew
tough
what
on a
you could
fish show.
find.
But there was like lots of couches, and you could always take a nap during setup at a couch nearby.
No couches.
And what was really cool at the White Eagle is they made soup, and there was also a kitchen there, and the ladies that worked the kitchen would definitely find you and be like, "You need to eat. You eat," and they would bring food and they make you eat it and watch you.
Make sure you ate it.
I'm eating.
Oh yeah, they're like
that's funny.
second and third mom.
I wasn't there for that.
You're nothing
I
but
missed
skin and
out on
bones.
it.
You're nothing but skin and bones. It was a great time. So, when no one was feeding me at this show, it was really tough. I mean, I realized I was on my own pretty quick.
Yeah.
I needed to get the food.
It was a shock.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? How about each one of you give us your 1 minute elevator pitch of what Aquashella is, and then we can judge to see who does a better job.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
quite good.
Oh, yeah.
I answered the other question first, so it's your turn.
Oh, Shawn's up.
first.
Well, I would think that Aquashella really is the best that we can do at the accumulation of just what we define as the entire aquarium industry. If there's an aspect of the aquarium industry that's out there, we try to get it involved in Aquashella. We want, even as far as oxalotls, we want freshwater, we want saltwater. I mean, we would reach out for brackish things. I mean, we want ponds, aquarium artists, aquarium influencers, pretty much anything that has to do or impacts the aquarium industry. We try to be creative and get it involved here at the show, so that if you love that niche of the aquarium industry, that you can come here and find your area, and then also look at everything else that you might not be into yet in the aquarium industry. So we get a lot of freshwater people that come and then they start to fall in love with saltwater here, or vice versa. In fact, I've seen that a lot, where you wouldn't think that would happen. So some people say that you would elevate into saltwater, but that's just saltwater people talking.
Yeah.
And they now look at the freshwater and they want to get into shrimp keeping because it's so cool.
awesome.
So, and then
Let's admit it.
huh?
Is that admit it?
No, I think that I still had 10 seconds, but it was robbed
No,
by
that's
George.
probably like a minute and a half. So, George,
I
you
don't know.
have a little extra
Can
time.
we
if you want
rewind
to.
and go back and look?
Just
Just
get
vote
an
for
instant
me.
replay.
Just vote for me, George. George isn't going to give you a good description.
All right, George, let's hear it.
Aquashella is the largest aquarium expo and festival in the country. It is grown to be, just like Shawn said, the culmination of everything, every aspect of the aquarium hobby. So whether you're a home hobbyist or you're a professional or you work retail or you're even up to like eventually the public aquarium sector, there's something here for everyone. And even if you don't have an aquarium, this is an amazing place to come and learn about aquariums, and through aquariums you can have a greater appreciation for the animals that we're keeping in them and nature as a whole. So it's a great place to come learn about how cool this hobby is. It's a really interesting niche hobby that a lot of people, it's unsuspecting, but there's so many people in this country who are aquarium hobbyists. It's kind of crazy. It surprises me every day to realize like just how big the industry is, and how many people love taking care of fish.
We're totally passing a minute now.
Clams.
See, that's not fair.
Winner.
2 minutes. I think it was
George definitely won.
George won.
George
He's
won.
Big words.
He's better at it.
I mean,
Shawn, have you ever lost anything in your life?
I mean, I have.
Okay.
I have. I mean, like basketball.
Do we have a trophy? Basketball's it?
It wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really start off with the fair advantage, but no, George did really well.
Is that where you got the nickname, Shawn
I'm not
Snails?
sure George talked about the artists of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about the show. I think we both could for hours. Did we even
and there's a light show here. There's like a light show, and we create the light show to make it seem like you're walking through an underwater universe when you come in the doors, and so that's really cool.
It's not an event; it's a festival.
Indoor
it's
festival.
More than an event.
We need food trucks. Can you make sure we get food trucks?
Yeah, no, seriously, I haven't booked for Dallas already.
But no seafood. We don't want to.
You don't want seafood?
Nah, not at this show.
What's Dallas even known for when we do a food truck there?
I mean, yeah, we should totally do food trucks. I mean, I would say like a macaroni food truck, like nothing but cheese, grilled cheeses. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Shawn really likes cheese.
Cheese
He
is
does.
good.
He left his
Who
receipts
doesn't
for
like cheese?
Nuggets and cheese. That's
No,
all.
he went to Chick-fil-A and bought us all lunch, and the Chick-fil-A bill was like this much money. The cheese bill was half of it.
I mean, you need good cheese. I mean, if you like cheese, just go ahead and like and subscribe and comment that you love Shawn Snails. Go find Shawn Snails and friend me there, because you will have a friend, because I like cheese too.
Well, let me ask you guys this: how'd the conversation go when you guys decided you were going to do Aquashella? Like, who brought it up? Who was the one that was like, "Yeah, this is a great idea"? Like, how did that first interaction go?
I mean, it was actually right here. It was right here in this building. We were at Aquatic Experience in 2017. They'd announced that they were moving to New York, and me and George were pretty bummed because George lives here in Chicago. This was one of my, Aquatic Experience was one of my favorite shows to go here in Chicago. It was early November.
Absolutely.
And George came into the booth on Sunday after he got out of school. Drove down from Wisconsin and just said, "Dude, we have to do this." And I'm like, "Okay," because I had gotten used to like just saying yes to whatever George wanted to do because he's so creative of a person. I was like, "Man, I'm really just gonna try to like get out of the box and just see if I can make happen what George is talking about." We've done it several times with the 50 Stores tour and other things.
Yeah.
And he comes up, he says, "Let's do it," and I'm like, "Well, it's kind of difficult to find a convention center." And George was like, "I know a guy." And we went and actually visited the convention center, the White Eagle, that night, and decided to do it.
So who's the guy that you know? Is it?
It's Mr. Ted.
It's a man named Ted.
Yeah, I mean, Shawn told that story perfectly. It's exactly how I remember it, at least.
Yeah.
But
That's
I don't
awesome.
know if Shawn's giving himself enough credit. He was equally as excited, and he was very willing to take my absolutely absurd idea to do this and like made it come to life. Shawn is probably responsible for a lot of the infrastructure like that goes on with the vendors and the sponsors and like working with the people to get so many of the logistical things set up. So I can bring a lot of really cool creative ideas to the table, but without someone who can execute in that way, it just they don't mean anything, right? It's just a lot of fluff. So I mean, yeah, Shawn and I always knew Shawn would be a really good was the right person to help set up this whole thing, the festival. But between us, we'd also been doing I've been doing years of marketing for other events, and Shawn had been working as a manufacturer in the industry. So yeah, it just like it definitely, it was kind of a weird moment when we were both here in this exact facility, and I was just like, we can do this.
Yeah.
Like we have we have the actual ability to pull this off. So I think we both were very confident about that, and that was exciting to us as well.
That's actually a good point that George made right there at the end. I was actually asked yesterday by one of Greg's guys from Aquascape. He's like, did you picture this when you got it started? And like, I stopped and I thought, and I was like, yeah, I did picture this when I got it started.
This is how you
This
saw
is
it
exactly
originally?
how I saw it originally.
That's amazing.
For sure.
That's
Because
amazing.
we just sat into there and talked, and we could see the vision. And even though we had to, it took some time to get it going. And I mean, the first show wasn't like we pictured it because we couldn't get it all in. We saw more than what we were able to accomplish
I
from
loved
such a
the
new
first
show.
show. I loved it.
No, we did love that first show,
Yeah.
but we just
It wasn't
we felt
what you saw.
disappointed a little bit
'Cause
because
we
we probably
wanted-
asked us because we just wanted so much more.
Yeah.
And we're still like, I think with this show, we're not all the way there. I don't think we'll ever be all the way there because we just want to keep improving it and growing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But definitely, Shawn and I will walk around the facility today and notice the very small things that we want to just improve, that we want to keep improving.
Yeah.
This whole setup right here that we got, this is new for this show.
Yeah, this is brand new.
and big props to you for getting this all set up. I
Well,
mean,
I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys kind of gave me the green light.
Yeah.
We came to Rob very early.
Live streaming as
Yeah.
much of the event is something we wanted to do for a long time, but we just, again, it's just taken some time to, with growing pains to get here. And Robert, who is the owner of Flip Aquatics and is just YouTuber and creator, organizer extraordinaire. It's a long.
Well, who
Title.
contacted me first? I forget. I think it was maybe George.
Yeah, I
One of
don't
you
know.
called me and was like,
It was organic. We met you like just because you're in the hobby, you love it, and we do too. So like, we were bound to meet, man.
yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
just-
we were already friends at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
But one of you called me and was like,
It was
do
George.
you think
yeah.
that you can bring creators to an event that we're having in Chicago in like 3 weeks?
yeah,
and
that
I was like,
3
I
weeks.
really don't know what I can do, but I will do my best.
Well,
And they sold me on the idea, and we ended up having I want to say we had around 15 creators.
Yeah, and then remember the posters I made? Those big long ones that went on the wall?
Oh, yeah.
I actually unwrapped those.
Oh,
from the
yeah, I
thing.
do remember
I
those.
kept them. So
You
we
still
can
have
actually,
them?
yeah, I was thinking about cutting out each person individually and sending it to them framed. Here, you were at the first
Yeah, this was
Aquashella
the
as a
first
creator.
Aquashella.
Just like those little things.
Yeah.
So we were like John, who helps us with the warehouse.
Yeah.
He had them set aside, and he was like, "Oh, you might want these." I opened them up. They're all dusty, and I was like, "Oh, these are cool."
I still have 15 signed fish tube shirts by every creator from the first show.
one.
From the
Yeah.
first show. I don't
Yeah.
even
There's
have
gonna
one of
be-
those.
Do you want one?
Yes, I do. Did you bring it with you?
No, I didn't bring
I
any
mean,
of them
is it
with
under
me.
the table?
I have them all. I have them all in
I thought this
safekeeping.
was staged. I thought you were about to present George and I
Yes,
with original.
hey, I got
Fish
you
tube
this
shirts.
shirt that you will get it at Dallas.
Did you get it in a small?
Yeah, I have
Ah,
small through 3X.
All signed?
All signed.
Oh, wow.
I signed 3 of every size.
Wow. Are you the only person
Wow,
that
you're
signed
holding
it?
on some
Everyone.
memorabilia
I mean, there's.
there.
Oh yeah, George is there. Like
I-
everyone
that's-
signed it.
As the event, gets bigger and bigger, that shirt's gonna become worth
Yeah,
more and
oh.
more.
Can you
I
just-
might, I might frame you guys each a shirt, and
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I'm telling you.
I mean that's
it's-
definitely something to hold on to.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really cool. All the stuff from that very first show. Yeah, it almost looks ancient at this point.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's so many things we'll look at in our in the storage, and we're just like, oh my god.
Actually,
that
this is the
an artifact.
what's going on now is how you guys have your Facebook memories and your Google memories that pop
Yeah.
up in your phone, right?
Yeah.
Well, my memories are popping up from the couple of days we were interviewed by the news before the first Aquashella this morning.
Really?
And so it was this
How cool
morning
is
in
that?
2018 that we were preparing for the very first Aquashella, and Raphael Campos was one of our artists that did all the murals around.
Yeah.
George and I, we were being interviewed at the actually at the Shed Aquarium right in front, right?
Yeah.
So- So this was that, but the marketing on that, you saw some of the banners and stuff that we made, and we really have come a long way because we put fish and stuff in there. We have them digitally put in, and one of them was cut and pasted, and it's just wow.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, yeah. I
We
mean,
got
it looks
better at
a little bit
Photoshop.
like
Yeah.
clip art or something.
Clip art. It's come a long way. It's super exciting to see
Well,
what you guys have accomplished in just 3 years,
Well,
especially with COVID.
you too.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
all of us.
when you say it, yeah, it's not just
team
us.
of people.
It is actually probably the least amount of us. It is like 20, maybe even 30 people now behind the scenes that each are just like dominating their roles in the event. Like we have a stage guy who just like he keeps getting better. and
Yeah,
making
Will
the stage like
Coherent
unbelievable.
Designs.
We got the laser guy. We got you who's like handling this whole new Aquashella Live so that people can experience and enjoy the event from home, bits and pieces of it. So
This is a
yeah,
difficult
it's-
situation because you get to starting to name people and then you forget one, And so,
Yeah.
but definitely
Shout out to all
Bombshell
of
Creations,
them.
Yeah, I could go on. There's
I mean, there's
30
just
of
so
them.
many, but-
there's literally 30 people,
Yeah.
and they're all just amazing, and they're just getting so good at what they do here. So, that's been probably the most rewarding part, at least for me. I'd say probably for us both, is to just see that team come together, and to be able to like really bring that vision, that really big vision that seemed like really far away, not too long ago, and like we're getting very close to it. So
Yeah, it's exciting.
yeah, no, definitely.
And then a huge shout out to Fritz Aquatics, which you see behind us. But if you guys didn't know, Shawn Snails is the mastermind behind Fritz Aquatics. And Fritz is a huge supporter of the show, along with like saltwateraquarium.com and a few others.
Yeah.
And why don't you just tell them a little bit about Fritz and like, how Fritz fell into being a part of Aquashella, or at least
they were forced into the situation. So I mean, George found me through me working through Fritz and going to aquarium shows, and Fritz sponsored George and his channel very early on in his career as a influencer, and that's how George and I met, and that's how we did the 50 stores in 5 days tour. And Fritz paid for all of those cool, fun things that and crazy ideas that George had that were really cool. And so I think that they became naturally involved. I mean, it's my primary role. I mean, all of us have. You have Flip Aquatics. George has his channel at Coralfish 12G, and I have Fritz. So this isn't our full-time job, and so it is surprising that we've come along so fast with this not being our full-time jobs.
That is crazy.
But Fritz was just it's the company that's always supported me and my ideas, and then also Fritz sponsors your channel as well,
absolutely.
and so many other influencers that have helped create really good content for the aquarium industry, which we try to integrate here at Aquashella. So I think that's just, the influencers that Fritz sponsors and the employees that it pays have kind of drugged the Fritz right into the building, and so
absolutely,
that's how we got here.
Fritz Aquatics is never given enough credit for all the really cool things that they're doing and bringing to the aquarium hobby. So Fritz Aquatics, for I guess people that don't know, is a full line chemical company for both freshwater and saltwater. So literally anything from like calcium and different additives that you need for your saltwater tank to supplements and for your freshwater tank, and like to glass cleaner. Like they make everything. They make so many different things, and I've been using their products for, I don't know, since I met Shawn, like four or 5 years, and it's never broken anything of mine, and I've always really liked the product. So it's just kind of been like a natural relationship. Like when you make a really good product and it does its job really well, you're gonna get the support of a lot of the people in the hobby and within that industry, because it's doing its job, right? So first and foremost, they make good products, but then they have they have really great people on their team who are able to find really cool and unique ways to incorporate those products into like greater goods, like greater causes within the hobby. And that's probably been one of my other favorite things about Fritz, is like seeing, like, for them, I don't think it's just about sales growth. It's like I can tell that team, they really care about
they care about the hobby.
They care about the hobby, yeah. And
we
really
just
great.
partner with people that like Flip. He's always given me advice as being the person in charge of Fritz as just to what to do, what to make, what we need. And so I don't think we ever even think about sales. We just think about, okay, what does the industry need, and how fun would it be to fill that void. And it all kind of comes along.
Yeah.
If the sales don't happen, we realize we're not on the right track.
Yeah, we're doing something wrong.
But
big picture, it's kind of like the same thing as Aquashella, where if you build a truly great product, something that like the customer, the end user really enjoys, like the people in the business will follow, right?
Yep.
And the money will take care of itself. So
Absolutely.
you know, if you're in any business, right, you should never be ultimately thinking about bottom line. You should be thinking about the user and like how they can have the best possible experience. So yeah.
I love it. I mean, there's key products at Fritz that I could not live without.
Oh,
and my business is based on a couple of those key products. And that's just being honest. Like, we talked about Marison. Like, Marison.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We were talking about that just the other day.
Yeah, it's a miracle thing for us. Which hopefully it can stay in the hobby, but there's some stuff going on that it might be.
Oh yeah, I mean that gets tough. I mean, fish meds are always hard. I mean, if you're watching and you want to know more about what's going on in the industry, fish meds are tough. I mean, it's tough to create quality in the like. I don't think it's tough, but I mean it's absolutely mandatory that you have such a high quality when you're creating meds because they have to be exactly what they say in the box. And in the past, in the fish industry, some other manufacturers, you know, because they weren't being regulated by FDA, they would say that this is amoxicillin, and you know, sometimes people would think, oh, that's amoxicillin, and that's what I'm getting prescribed by my doctor. So I'm just going to take what's in this box, and that created a really bad situation for the aquarium industry because if you weren't being regulated by organizations to make sure, that's amoxicillin and 100% amoxicillin in that box, then it could hurt people. And so Fritz is being held by a higher standard with the FDA and making sure that the products that we make are exactly what they say, especially with meds, because you never know. Someone would come to that conclusion. They shouldn't. They should always go to their doctor to take. But these are meds for fish. But that's what's happening, and it's kind of threatening companies from being able to make products because of that. So
I love it. Well, I don't love it, but it's good to know.
But it's good information.
It's good information.
I'm glad that everyone watching now is very highly
They're super bored.
up to speed on
they know what's going on.
Aquarium meds, you know, production.
Well, let's do one last thing.
I should have put some glasses on and a white lab coat when I was talking about
and then we should. We would love to have Michael here.
I mean, Michael.
Oh, man.
He would just be able to get into it.
Poor Michael Michael from Aquabros. I couldn't say, he didn't say his last name.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Poor fish tank Mike.
There we go.
He didn't make it on the plane yesterday.
Yeah, that's terrible. So he's not coming at all, right?
No, he couldn't. But so he had a flight out yesterday, and then they canceled his flight.
Why
and then by the
so
time
many flights canceled?
Let the record show that Michael was the only plane ticket that I wasn't in charge of, and it's the only person that didn't make it.
Really? I mean. You know, we're gonna insert the screenshots from my phone here. Which right? Yep. Just go ahead.
Just put it right there.
Go ahead and put that screenshot.
That's how it works.
And there it is. It popped up right there, and you can see that Robert is texting me here, and he said, "That's a great flight."
That is a great flight.
And I picked that flight because he told me it was good.
He did.
So endorsed by.
Yeah. So that's a different story for another day, but. I guess for people watching at home, so there's 3 tickets that they can purchase. It's a VIP ticket, an early bird ticket, and then general admission.
Yes.
So is that the way it's going to be moving forward?
For the foreseeable future, yes, and it helps out the customers as well, because basically we tier the tickets that way so that you know, the right people can get into the facility at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're like a hardcore coral buyer, you want to be here like super early to get like, you know, as many of the great pieces from the coral vendors as you want. But if you're just like, you know, interested in maybe setting up your first aquarium, you probably want to like wait till that rush is over and you want to come maybe at a general admission slot. So yeah, we have 3 slots. It's general admission, which is $25. We have early bird, which is $35, which gets you in like an hour or 2 later. And then we have the VIP, which, you know, is the bright and early. You'll get here. You get access to both days of the show. You get a T-shirt included. You get the meet and greet with all the YouTubers and creators in the
free donuts and coffee.
Yeah, it's all inclusive. So, yeah, I mean, you can
really
buy those at aquashella.com. A little plug there.
Yeah, just aquashella.com. But yeah, I mean, I think George is right. We actually got an email from someone about that was like kind of concerned that we were doing the early bird and the VIP, and they kind of thought it was money or coin operated, but it really, the intention is not that. I mean, standardly
we can't get all 5,000 people into the
Well, tell 'em
facility
about Dallas.
in 1 hour. So
I mean, you could tell them about Dallas.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
we had
Dallas was-
6,700 people, or really more like 75 or 8,000 people show up. Not everybody got in.
well, it's because they all try
Yeah,
to
it
show
was-
up at the same time, and
Yeah.
so we've tried to avoid that now at our events by just
and it
breaking
was
up
a-
the time slots.
It was
So makes
bad.
a little
Like
better
people
for
were
them.
upset. Like people had to be turned away, and it was just not a good situation.
Yeah.
And so the stagger thing, at least from a vendor's perspective, it makes so much sense because you don't just have this huge rush of people all at once, and it overwhelms everyone. It's like one little rush, another decent sized rush, and then another rush, and so it kind of separates out the day, which is extremely convenient.
And then, like George said, like we want to make sure you're in the building when
when you want to be there.
when you want
When
to
it
be there,
suits you
and
the best,
When,
yeah.
when it suits you the best, because, like he said, there's certain things that you want to get out of the show, and a lot of these shows, people want to come in and they just want to shop or they want to go see some vendors. They may not be interested in all the speaker sessions. They might not be interested in meeting all the influencers or the YouTube personalities
Yeah.
that are here at the show, and that's actually quite a big expense for the show to fly speakers in, to fly influencers in. And we don't want people to have to pay for that aren't interested in that.
Yeah.
And so that's why we create the levels of tickets and the levels of entries, because, if you're not interested in that, we don't want you to have to foot the bill for bringing in speakers and bringing in influencers. So that's why you have the lower price ticket, and the higher price tickets meant to culminate into helping pay for those features. And so
Yeah.
that's
It all
really
works
more-
together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited for today.
Oh, it's going to be a great day.
And it's so good to be back in front of people after so long being cooped up. And so it's just, it's going to be a great experience.
It will. Well, from Shawn and I to you, Robert, thank you for, in advance for having hosted the live stream Fish Tube all weekend. Robert is going to be sticking around, and you'll be seeing probably a whole lot more of him live on here. Don't forget to subscribe to Robert and the Aquashella YouTube channel, because throughout the rest of the weekend, he's going to be running live streams with other creators, speakers, expert hobbyists, and industry manufacturers. So he's going to have a lot of different people up here. And potentially they'll be doing some other really cool stuff, like some hardscapes and stuff like that, livescapes on here. So
Yeah.
don't
And
forget to
this-
subscribe.
Thank you.
I know that Rob, he tries to push away all the credit, but he's really deserves so much. I remember in 2018 me calling Rob literally every day and talking to him in the cafe. In the cafe, I was in Dallas. I would talk to Rob for at least 30 minutes about the pie in the sky ideas. How can we accomplish it? Do you think it can happen? And so, but now that I've kind of sat here and done this live stream with you, Rob, I think we should just send George away, and I'll just sit here with you all day.
Yeah, we'll just
I mean,
talk.
I'm feeling
Everyone
pretty
wants to
comfortable.
talk to Robert all day,
Yeah,
Shawn. You can't be that guy.
Can we get some donuts and some of the coffee?
Yeah, we need.
here?
That's
we're
what we
doing
need
right
up
now.
here.
No, I mean, I'm serious. George, you're excused. We're going to sit here and run this thing for the rest of the day, right?
The rest of the day?
You and I, right?
Well, I mean,
I don't want to work.
I got to talk at 12, so I'm
That's
happy
true.
to stay on here.
That's true.
No, you have to talk.
No, I
so
have
that's
to
why
talk.
I also
I have to
sit here.
talk.
All right. Anyways, thank you for coming, and thanks for having me
Well,
on. Rob.
thank you guys for being here and allowing me to be a part of it and do this. It's been a fun ride. It's been a great journey, and it's fun to see how much you guys have grown and how much this show's grown and how much everyone here has grown. And it keeps getting better every year. When you think it can't get any better, it does. And so, like, every show I'm looking forward to see what's innovating and what's improving. And yeah, it's just
Sure.
it's a great thing. Like this, I almost guarantee will not be the same come Dallas, and then it won't be the same come the next show. Like,
Nope.
we'll just keep getting better, keep doing bigger things, and keep growing the experience for you guys at home and also the people that come to the show.
We got
All right.
20 minutes till show opens.
Oh, we
so
better go.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
better get to it.
Thanks
you guys
for
have
watching.
a great
you.
day, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Remember to keep those nitrates low.
George.
Ow.
Snailed it.